I love to hear people's stories, right? So I asked this one girl, like, what were you doing through the family? Because I don't speak Arabic, so we were using translators. And she's like, oh, I was just sitting in my tent reading the Quran, which is like the holy book, like reading the Bible, right? And this quadcopter just shot through the tent, and here I am, And there's some weirdness going on when a bullet goes from up to down, Like people usually get shot from forward to back, right?
Yeah.
From up to down, it's sitting in a tent is very strange. So, there's some people who are suspicious about quadcopter shooting middle of tents, which is in the green zone, the safe zone, where civilians live. But it's almost every day we are hearing of civilians, girls, boys being shot by quadcopters. I haven't seen one myself, but I wasn't out there, right? I was in the hospital.
When you say quadcopter, what do you mean by that?
Well, this is kind of interesting. So they're basically these drones that have been engineered to shoot. It has like an assault rifle on them, remotely activated. It's like a kind of a drone, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Does it look like that kind of?
I haven't seen one.
Oh, you haven't?
They say if you see one, you're probably going to get shot. Granted, we're American, but we weren't allowed to go there anyways.
But could you hear drones ever?
Oh, yeah. Oh, 24/7, there's drone buzzing over you.
Really?
Yeah. They say they know where everyone is. They're watching everyone's face. It's probably some crazy AI stuff. I mean, honestly, I think they probably have everyone's phone, tracked. We are connecting to the Israeli towers too. So it's like they know where we are.
Yeah, there's a company called Palantir I know that I believe, see if you can bring that up, that I believe had which I believe is helping with some of the drone AI work over in Gaza. Palantir allegedly enables Israel AI targeting in Gaza, raising concerns over war crimes. Earlier this month, and this says allegedly, saw a continuation of that effort with the targeting of 3 well-marked or fully approved aid vehicles belonging to World Central Kitchen, killing their 7 occupants and ensuring that the food would never reach those dying of starvation. The targeting was precise, placing missiles dead center in the aid agency's rooftop logos. Israel, however, said it was simply a mistake, similar to the mistaken killings of nearly 200 other aid workers in just a matter of months. Such horrendous mistakes are hard to understand, considering the enormous amount of advanced targeting AI hardware and software provided to the Israeli military and spy agencies, some of it by one American company in particular, Palantir Technologies. We stand with Israel, the Denver-based company said in posts on X and LinkedIn. The board of directors of Palantir will be gathering in Tel Aviv next week for its first meeting of the new year. So when was this?
April 2024.
Oh, so this
I remember that. So there was
this is a while back.
There was an Israeli website, 972 Mag, that actually called this out. So it's Israeli information. I think it's Project Lavender. And there's a mission where the AI basically gets permission to kill a Hamas commander if there's like 300 collateral damage. And then if it's going to go over 300 civilians, then there's an operation that gets activated called like Daddy's Home, where it waits for the Hamas guy to go home and just shoots the entire family. It's just crazy. Like the fact that this is completely normalized now. And I think this is experimental. I think this is what's going to, the future is going to have everything to do with what we're seeing here.
I agree with you. Go back to that first article. The project involves selling the ministry an artificial intelligence platform that uses reams of classified intelligence reports to make life or death determinations about which target to attack. In an understatement several years ago, Karp admitted our product is used on occasion to kill people, the morality of which he himself occasionally questions. I have asked myself, if I were younger at college, would I be protesting me? Yeah, and this is allegedly. This is just stuff that I'm reading from an article here. What website is this? This is Business and Human Rights Resource Center. What's wild is that this is the same company that's now has a contract to operate in America. Palantir lands $10 billion Army software and data contract. So Palantir has linked a contract with the U.S. Army worth up to $10 billion to meet growing warfare demands over the next decade. As part of the deal, Palantir will help the military streamline efficiencies while preparing for threats, consolidating 75 total contracts into one enterprise deal. The agreement creates a comprehensive framework for the Army's future software and data needs. So I think my fear is that in the future, this is what it'll be like. We'll be living in a surveillance state, and this is what it'll be like. And I hate to say that, but I don't know if it's my fear. It just seems like Like that's kind of where we're headed. Did it ever seem over there? Yeah, like it was a experimental grounds over there. Like it must seem so dystopian that you're like, what even? Because does it feel like a war? Where do you see like Hamas troops? Like, do you see any of that military?
No, it seemed overkill for what we were visualizing. Like, you know, see F-35 or F-16. I'm not sure which one, but some fast jet flying overhead at night, and then you hear the drone buzzing, then you hear the tank, the Merkava tanks in the distance. You can see them with your own eyes, right? And then you hear them shooting, and then you can hear the shell landing, and then you hear the Apache helicopter shooting, and then you hear the rockets landing. And it's like, how is this all happening against some people underground? Like, something's not adding up. And then, like I said, from a doctor's perspective, you're seeing the casualties, which are civilians. I mean, you can make whatever conclusion you want about what's going on from the military aspect, and I am also suspicious. Like, what is going on? Is it just like a big show of different equipment? We actually had a situation where there was some sort of a gas being used, and patients were asphyxiating, but we didn't know what it was. There was no testing, right? But you know, the X-ray was normal. The chest X-ray was normal, but the patients were asphyxiating. It was really weird, and we had no idea what we were treating. So we would just watch them in the ICU, make sure there were, you know, oxygen was okay. So there's some weird stuff going on, and it's not just me saying that. If you look at some of the locals, they say there's bombs which we've never heard before. There's explosions that we've never seen before. One time we saw this bomb that's like a shotgun bomb that explodes into thousands of pellets and just disfigures the body. It doesn't penetrate as deeply, but it just completely disfigures the body. And it's just like, man, like, what is going on? There's such a variety of different things from a military point of view going on. And I'm just seeing the results of it in the ER from, again, kids, women, children, elderly, handicapped people. And something doesn't add up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the feeling it gets even. It's like, what's happening? And then the weird thing too is like, we're seeing this, right? Like just on TikTok, social media, you're seeing video. It's like, well, does nobody even care anymore if that's happening? Like, are we becoming like immune to it? Is that happening just to put videos out to make people immune to a massacre? Like, I don't understand. Like, it starts to make, because then I start wondering, am I part of some experiment, you know? And I don't know. I just don't even understand it. But then it does start to make you believe in pure evil, because you're like, well, what else would do something like this?
Yeah, there's actually this interview with Peter Thiel with some pastor who's asking him, like, you know, when the Antichrist comes, what kind of technology you think he's going to be using? And then he's like, oh, I think Greta Thunberg, you know, I think that she's going to develop the technology for the Antichrist. And then the pastor's like, well, you're developing this like defense company that has all this technology. Don't you think maybe the Antichrist would be using your company? He's like, no, I don't see that. you gotta watch
really?
That. It's awesome.
Let me see it.
It's awesome.
Pull it up.
This is my very specific question for you, right? Is that you're an investor in AI. You're deeply invested in Palantir, in military technology, in technologies of surveillance, in technologies of warfare, and so on, right? And it just seems to me that when you tell me a story about the Antichrist coming to power and using the fear of technological change to sort of impose order on the world, I feel like that Antichrist would maybe be using the tools that you were building, right? Like, wouldn't the Antichrist be like, great, you know, we're not going to have any more technological progress, but I really like what Palantir has done so far, right?
Yeah,
I mean, isn't that a concern? Wouldn't that be the irony of history would be that the man publicly worrying about the Antichrist accidentally hastens his or her arrival?
There are all these different scenarios. I obviously don't think that that's what I'm doing.
I mean, to be clear, I don't think that's what you're doing either. I'm just interested in how you get to a world willing to submit to permanent authoritarian rule.
Well, but
doesn't have an answer.
But again, there are these different gradations of this we can describe. But is this so preposterous, what I've just told you, as a broad account of the stagnation? that the entire world has submitted for 50 years to peace and safetyism. This is 1 Thessalonians 5:3. The slogan of the Antichrist is peace and safety, and we've submitted.
I mean, and you know what? It's scary to be alive, but at the same time, it's like, this is where you are. This is where we are. And most people just want to take care of their families, you know? They just want to get home and get their kids safe and get them fed, you know? And